Get ready for the biggest moments in entertainment. We start with Jordan Roth making a massive statement at the Met Gala. This Broadway producer, performer, and fashion icon unveiled a stunning gray velvet look featuring a looming figure that turned him into a living sculpture. We dive into how London-based designer Robert crafted this custom vision for Roth, exploring the deep connection Roth has with classical sculpture and the painting Pygmalion and Galatea. You won't believe the details of this incredible red carpet moment.
Here's a simple way to protect your phone without stress. This ALEN 3-pack comes with tempered glass screen protectors, camera lens protectors, and an installation frame for an easier, cleaner fit. It's clear, case-friendly, and built to help guard against scratches and everyday bumps. Check the link in the comments to get it on Amazon.
Next up, we shift gears to the media world with a massive potential shakeup. James Murdoch, the beneficiary of a billion-dollar settlement, is reportedly in serious talks to acquire New York Magazine and its Vox podcast division. We examine the dynasty element here, looking at how this potential move could vault James Murdoch into the ranks of media billionaires who own influential publications. Find out what this means for the future of the New York media landscape. Now for some big screen excitement. Hulu is bringing back a beloved classic with the return of King of the Hill. The Disney-owned streamer has officially set the premiere date for Season 15, launching 10 brand new episodes on July 20th. We look at the new logline that sets up Hank and Peggy settling into retirement life, and check out the teaser poster that is already hinting at the hilarious chaos to come. And finally, we head to the theater scene where the nominations are stacked. The Lost Boys and Schmigadoon are leading the 2026 Tony nominations with 12 nods each, competing fiercely for major awards. From the nominated performances of Nathan Lane in Death of a Salesman to the historic achievement of June Squibb, we break down all the major contenders and see who is taking home the gold. Don't miss the full breakdown. Stay with us. Broadway producer, performer, and fashion icon Jordan Roth made a striking entrance at the Met Gala on Monday, showcasing a sculptural look designed by London-based designer Robert for the costume art theme. Roth presented a gray velvet ensemble featuring a looming figure that grasped him from behind, effectively transforming him into a living sculpture. Roth expressed his inspiration for the look, stating, "As soon as I knew the theme of this year's exhibition and gala, I knew I wanted to explore the relationship between figures in classical sculpture, as well as a specific painting in the Met collection, Pygmalion and Galatea, by Jean-Léon Gérôme, in which the sculptor kisses his sculpture as it comes to life." Roth has a history of provocative fashion statements, including wearing an Iris Van Herpen cape at a previous Met Gala. This year, Roth collaborated with a designer he had worked with previously, for the custom look. The creation process was intensive, requiring 4 hours for hair and makeup and an additional 45 minutes for dressing. The team conducted a test run on Friday to perfect the timing and placement of the sculpture, with the most challenging aspect being determining the precise pose and the balance required while dancing. Navigating the Met Gala environment presented unique challenges. Roth noted that he managed to sit in a van, a rarity for him, balancing the sculpture behind him while sitting sideways. Once on the red carpet, the large centerpiece sculpture was removed, prompting Roth to create a secondary piece, a sculpture of just arms across his chest, described as a big sculpture necklace, to serve as a centerpiece for dinner. The red carpet was filled with interactions, including a playful moment where Roth's sculpture momentarily poked theater veteran Hugh Jackman in the eye. Roth highlighted several notable encounters, mentioning chatting with Katy Perry, engaging with Heidi Klum during cocktails, and enjoying dinner with Gwendolyn Christie, whom he described as his new spirit animal. James Murdoch, the beneficiary of a substantial settlement, may be re-entering the media landscape with a significant move. Reports indicate that the younger Murdoch is in discussions with Vox Media regarding the acquisition of New York Magazine and its Vox podcast division assets. This speculation comes from the Wall Street Journal, citing internal sources, though a representative for James Murdoch declined to comment, suggesting the potential deal remains uncertain. Since stepping down as CEO of 21st Century Fox in 2019, Murdoch has focused on his venture company, Lupa Systems, which has made investments in entities such as the owner of Art Basel and Tribeca Enterprises. Acquiring New York Magazine would position him as a steward of a legacy publication, having previously owned the New York Post and New York Magazine during his father's tenure at News Corp, adding a significant succession and media dynasty element to the potential transaction. Currently, New York Magazine is owned by Vox Media, a publisher that acquired the title in 2019. The magazine has maintained a strong readership, drawing nearly 10 million visitors as of March, bolstered by its print presence and event participation, positioning it above many regional magazines but below major national newspapers. If the deal materializes, James Murdoch would join a cohort of billionaires owning influential single news outlets, such as Jeff Bezos with the Washington Post or Mark Benioff with Time magazine. This contrasts with some vanity owners who have scaled back, as James Murdoch possesses both significant financial backing and a history as a media operator. Despite distancing himself from his brother Lachlan's political leanings, James has cultivated a centrist image, supporting climate change nonprofits and democratic causes. This follows a past legal dispute over family business control, which concluded with a settlement last September, where James and his siblings agreed to sell their voting shares in Fox and News Corp to Lachlan in exchange for over $1 billion. Vox Media, the current owner of New York, is noted as one of the last remaining new media companies that thrived during the social media-driven growth era of the 2010s. There is also speculation that Vox Media is considering separating its publishing assets from its podcast division, suggesting that potential buyers focused on publishing might employ a different media strategy than those targeting the booming video podcast market. Hulu has officially set the premiere date for Season 15 of the animated series King of the Hill, the second season of the revival. All 10 episodes are scheduled to debut on July 20, marking just under a year since the first season of the revival premiered. The logline for the upcoming season focuses on the characters settling into retirement. Hank and Peggy settle into retirement life on Rainy Street while attempting to keep their neighbors from going off the rails. Bobby navigates old friendships while dealing with the stresses of being an entrepreneur. Hulu has also released a teaser poster for the new season, which features recognizable characters. The poster depicts Bill holding a plant, Hank in a Strickland propane jacket with a leash, Dale with caged rats and a magnet, and Boomhauer with 3 chickens at his feet, while Peggy and Con observe from over a fence. The scene also includes a discarded cow stuffy and the Texas State Fair mascot, Big Tex, in the background. The revival has demonstrated significant success. Last year, the series garnered 1.21 billion minutes of viewing time in its premiere week, according to Nielsen. Disney reported that Season 14 achieved the best premiere for an adult animated series on Disney Plus and Hulu in 5 years, recording 4.4 million views globally in its initial 7 days. Following this success, Hulu ordered 2 additional seasons last October. The voice cast remains anchored by the original creators, including Mike Judge, Kathy Najimy, Pamela Adlon, Stephen Root, Lauren Tom, and Toby Huss. The series is executive produced by Mike Judge and co-creator Greg Daniels through Bandera Entertainment, alongside showrunners Saladin Patterson, Michael Rotenberg, and Howard Klein of 3 Arts Entertainment, and producers Dustin Davis of Bandera and Norm Hiscock. The 2026 Tony nominations are set to feature a strong showing from brand new musicals, with Schmigadoon and The Lost Boys each securing 12 nominations. The Lost Boys, based on the 1987 campy vampire thriller, and Schmigadoon, which parodies Golden Age musicals via an Apple TV series, are vying for accolades including Best Musical and Direction. Additional nods went to Anna Gasteyer and Sarah Chase for Schmigadoon, and Shoshana Bean and Ali Louis Burzgui for The Lost Boys. In a year with a relatively slim field for musicals, the nominations also included the revival of Ragtime, which garnered 11 nods, alongside Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman and Cats, The Jellicle Ball, each receiving 9 nominations. Other musicals recognized for Best Musical include Titanic, an off-Broadway hit reimagining Titanic with Celine Dion, and Two Strangers, Carry a Cake Across New York, a two-hander rom-com. For plays, contenders included Ballisters, focusing on HOA grievances, Giant, centered on a potentially controversial book review, Liberation, following its Pulitzer Prize win and addressing a 1970s feminist group, and Little Bear Ridge Road, exploring reconnection during the pandemic. Several notable actors received recognition. Daniel Radcliffe was nominated for Every Brilliant Thing. Rose Byrne was recognized for her role in the comedic revival of Fallen Angels, and Nathan Lane was nominated for Willie Lawman in Death of a Salesman. John Lithgow earned a nod for his role as Roald Dahl in Giant, while Carrie Coon was nominated for Bug, and Alden Ehrenreich for his performance in Becky Shaw. June Squibb made history as the oldest acting nominee at 96, earning a Best Actress nomination for Marjorie Prime. Powerhouse producer Scott Rudin scored 2 nominations for his work on both Death of a Salesman and Little Bear Ridge Road, marking his return to the industry. The 79th Annual Tony Awards will be hosted by Pink on June 7 at Radio City Music Hall, broadcast live on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. The full list of nominees spans numerous productions, including The Lost Boys, Schmigadoon, Titanic, Two Strangers, Death of a Salesman, and numerous other theatrical works. The nominations highlight a diverse landscape of new works, successful revivals, and compelling dramatic performances.